So you can see how it's getting more radius in there now. See how my finger goes in there a little better. I did neck the guide on top though, so it does help my finger go in a little bit better. Okay, so you can see I didn't really cut too much right there. Barely blended it, not hardly touching it. Same on this side, staying off. You can see the original low spots are still in there. Trying to stay off that area as much as I can for now. And we're trying to make this a nice tall long radius on the back side, but it's a little bit tall still, but I gotta go on the other side and see where I'm at. I'm working the back side of a mount where I can't see what I'm doing. So that's basically where we're at on that. So we're gonna flip it over and do the other side. Let's go at it. Alright, so see I've got a big hump there. Kind of a bad angle to work here. Okay, so from this side, it's hard to see where your finger is at, but we're blending in. This is just way high right through here. Once again, these humps aren't lined up with the guide too well. It's sort of lined up with the angle of the port. See, the port goes from this angle to this angle all of a sudden. There's no real change in it. So I think the idea is they're trying to make it follow that a little bit. I'd rather have the whole surface trying to come through it about like a nice little curve even like that, instead of having to kind of blend and force it like they're trying to do. So, which way works best, who knows? All I know is it runs better after I butcher my head, so whatever I'm doing must be helping at some point. That's all. Depends on what you want to believe. Goes faster the track, that's all I care about. I don't race flow benches, I race down the track. And they are different. Okay. Knock this hump down here. Dart. Bit of a longer coarse cutter. Makes it more straight. Alright, I roughed it in there. There we go, quite a bit of difference. Too much light with the camera on. So I didn't really cut. I didn't cut right here, see? I blended this edge to this edge. And I blended this here into the wall over here. This is our short side. See how tall the port is? That means that's short on that side. See how the port is real tall on this side? That means there's more area to cut. So I actually dropped, this used to be up here. I dropped this whole thing down through here about 1/8 of an inch. Knocked the hump out, blended it from here to here. Then I'll make this a nice negative radius coming out, going downhill, but I'm not going to cut all the way down to that deep. So I got some more cutting to do right over through here, but I'm at a bad angle to do this side. So now I'm going to flip it back around so I can go check the radius. I do have a radius coming around, I can feel it. So I'm going to flip it around and look at it from the other side. And make sure you don't put a big flat spot on one side or the other, which would be a bad thing to do. Try to avoid that. That actually does not help the airflow when you do that. So from this side, that's what it looks like right now. Guess I have it a little flat, I guess. Alright, so we got to figure out where we're at on the ports here. So we'll look in here and see where we need to do more blending. So, you can see it's still pretty high all through there. See how low it is on this side. So I need to blend it through there. And my pointer disappeared. There it is. So from here to here, we got the same thing we're going to work with now. Except now we got more of an angle. The back side we can blend into it by feeling it. Feel what it needs. Try not to cut too much. Use my big cutter again. Kind of slow. Of course, for this it's not exactly slow. This light's not helping the situation at this angle. Light's in my way. Maybe I don't know where it to be. Dark, but not full dark. All right. Light's horrible. Hard to get an idea where you're at. Mainly going by feel. looks a lot better. See, now it's getting a more full radius around it. Now my finger's starting to fit through the hole. So I'm staying off that edge there. It looks like I dug in, but that's factory over there. Over here, the low spot was here. It's kind of blending into the wall now, becoming more of a long radius, so it doesn't look like a low spot anymore. So the port's becoming more uniform on this side, like it should be. So it's got a decent radius going on there. Over here, it's a little sharp because the port's way too big on that. It drops away way too much over here. Oh well. Okay, so I'm going to come in there with a little bit different cutter, do a little more cutting. Drop off to a little bit finer cutter with a fine version of the big cutter. That's all we can do. So I'm working right here on the back edge of the cutter, basically from here around to the back sides where I'm cutting. Starting to feel pretty darn nice. So that took off some of the chunkiness a little bit, so now it's getting more smooth finish to it. So I'm liking that pretty good right now. Flip it over the other way and see what we're doing on the other side. I might go back and redo the other head too if it turns out really good. Okay, now I gotta look at this side of the port here and see what I'm looking at when I'm looking at these heads. Okay, this is definitely the high side on this side, and it's definitely the high side on this side. Make sure I'm looking at the same spot on both sides of the head. Let me get on the other side of this. Changing my angle so I can get a better idea where we're at. All right. Bend the light to fit. There we go. Okay. Alright, so now you see when I'm coming around here and see it's kind of a sharp edge right there at the top of my finger. That's where we're going from two different major angles. So I got to try to cut that away and blend it in. So it's going to be a taller port like this when we're done. See, this one's a little bit shorter. So I want to concentrate my grounding right along this sharp edge right in here. As you can see in the light, it's a lot of light in there. So bad camera angles. Oh well. It's hard for you to see what I'm doing because not room for two of us in here at once. I think I'm going to use the finer grit here on this one. I mean, a big difference is knocking the top of that tit off. Still a little bit tight in there with my finger. Yeah. So you can see how it's right here. It's tight coming through here. So I just knocked that edge off right there we talked about. This camera light's killing me when I do that. So. Alright, so I'm going to try dropping the whole area of that port down a little bit. See if I can make this more uniform through there. I should definitely not be getting too carried away like I want to do, but it can make it worse. Alright. I don't want to keep cutting more there, it's getting pretty big through there. We're killing velocity as we're doing this, so I cut this whole area down right through here, so now it's, you can see where it's radiusing more over to the seat now when you come around. So I can go back from the other side and cut this area right over here. I have to get that from the other side. It's just a back and forth deal. Got to take some right there on my fingers, it's high right there, but come back with a different cutter for that. Go back to our long one. Big long fillet radius in there. So now the port's getting more even looking. Remember before it was like this. If you go back and look at the old video, it's way the hell up here. So now the port angle is getting more closer to where it needs to be. So I've been making a nice long fillet radius all through here, trying to blend it and make this smoother here a little bit and blend it down a little also. Okay, I'm going to flip it around and come back from the other side and go over through here where my finger is and blend that side in. And we got to work on the short side a little bit more over here. So we'll keep playing with it a little bit. So it's all a back and forth movement. Okay, we're going to cut on this side here. So it goes back onto this side of the head. Tripod's in that way. Here somehow. That's about the best thing I'm going to get on doing this one. Yeah. Okay. I can even see in there now. So I don't like working going straight up walls, but that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing right now. So I'm going to work on this radius, continue this fillet radius all the way up through here, and then lightly blend on the top side here coming down. So I don't like working on walls, but from out the angle of port, this is my best way of getting in here. So we'll just make this an east. There's a little bit of a hump right here. I want to kind of knock that out. And it makes the ports more equal, see? Cut all that stuff out of there. That light does not help when you do that. So you're getting a big bowl shape on both sides of the port now. Making them more equal. Tripod's in the way under here. Work around the tripod. Okay. There where I can see it. It's a bad angle for this cutter, but I need to make it straight. First time I work on this low spot on the back side, so shape's pretty good. Happy with that. It flows in there pretty nice. Get the light out of the way so you can see. So this here flows in really nice through there now. That finger will wrap right around in there, see? So you gotta be, if the finger won't wrap in there, it's no good. I don't care what you do. Finger don't fit, it don't run. Okay, so now we gotta come back and do the top side. I don't want to get too aggressive up over there, but I'm going to have something that's going to actually cut too. I didn't do what I wanted to do. That more or less just squared it up on top and made a flat spot up there at the top of the port. I'm cutting on top of the port now, so I just flatten it out instead of making a radius. This cutter can't get in there where I need to be. It made it even all the way down now. It's wrong cutter for the application. Back to this one. doesn't do much. That makes it turn. Alright, it's a lot better. You can actually see how it kind of radiuses around. You can see the camera goes around. You can't see it from that port. So it kind of sucks right on around there now. Even up here in the bad spot was way up high over there. I just barely kissed it. I'm not doing any more up there. I have not cut that at all. I just lightly brushed against it and smoothed it and haven't changed it. Okay, so now I'm going to flip it around. Go from this side. See what I can do on this side. Change my angle here, what I've been doing it at. Just about done with this over here. Alright, drop hold. Okay, can we see anything at all with that light on there? Hell no. Okay, so the radius starts going around and you get very top here, it gets sharp at the very top up here. So now I need to radius it from this top side and blend it to the other side. So it's flat up here on top. So I was trying to get it from the other angle but it wasn't working. You can see how this cleanup through down in here though, it's smoothed out quite a bit. Okay, so I'm going to work on the short side up there. There's a little bit of a sharpness I want to get off. Shape's pretty good other than that. So I don't want to get too carried away. I don't know if this is enough to do it. This thing's pretty dull, so I don't know if it'll work. Oh yeah. Yep, that's getting it. So I'm running the cutter right across, and when I felt it go over and come back on the high spot, I moved it back and went right on the spot I wanted it. Knocked it off pretty good. It's making it look a lot better. I'm feeling better. Still have a good angle to get in there. Definitely better. So I don't know if you can see it all radiusing around a little bit more. You can see my finger kind of rolls around now. You don't really see a sharp edge up there anymore like it was. It's not perfect, but I can't cut that way. If I took a piece of emery paper, ran it through there and went back and forth a few times, that would radius it up pretty nicely, but it'll also cut inside the ports a little bit too, which I don't want to do. So I don't get into sanding. Okay, it looks pretty good. I haven't even touched this port through here yet because it doesn't really need to be hit. I'll flip this around, do a little detail work right on that corner there. Get a little roughness on the back side there. Let's go over here and see if there's anything to be done on this side. So right through here, this is as is, as you can see. So you got a pretty good hole right there, a little bit of a high spot right there, and it goes right into where you're at. So it humps up right about in here. So I'm going to just lightly clean that up, eliminate that hump. Use a long skinny bit. In my way. Run the cutter in there real quick. You can see where the high spots are. So it's pretty even, but just knock it down just a little bit. I knocked off a little bit right there, not too bad. It's more even now coming out. Gotta do the same on this side over here. You're only talking about 30 thou at most material being removed. It's probably more like 15,000s where the high spots are. On the outside edge here, 30 might be the tallest area. A lot smoother now, more even. So if you look at the red line right there, we haven't really removed anything, but we've taken out the waviness that was in there. And we blend it up into here too where the other cutting was done. So these low spots all through here are original through here. You can still feel that roughness there, but everything else is pretty smooth. So that one blends out nice. Now I'm going to flip around and do the other side here. So this is all just fine tuning. Makes a little different, but yeah. Changes how vortex form on sharp edges, all you're changing. How much that affects flow, yeah, I don't know. Just I don't like it, so I fix it. This side's pretty good. So this one felt a lot smoother on the other side, and it is. Alright. Barely did anything there. Just lightly hit some of the high spots. Pretty much didn't do much there. As I said, it felt good before, it still feels good. This side over here is a little rough, now it's not. Alright, there you go. Spent all our time over on that side and done anything on the other side yet. Alright, I'll be back in a minute.